smart meter in an NHS healthcare facility is directly connected to the site's energy supplier. This means the facility, for example a hospital, can also benefit from receiving information on the tariffs that best fit their usage patterns and needs. The detailed data that will come from smart metering provides a more accurate breakdown of energy consumption, and this more timely and accurate data puts an end to some of the long-standing issues with current meters, such as estimated billing. In this programme, we speak to E.ON, Utility Energy Solutions and Green Energy Options, who tell us about their advanced metering innovations and how they can help the NHS to reduce carbon emissions in their sites. Tim Price, Public Sector Manager at the Carbon Trust, explains how advanced and smart metering can help the NHS manage its energy usage.
The Carbon Trust NHS Carbon Management Programme has been running since 2006, and every year we take a group of NHS trusts through a 5-step process to help them to produce a board-approved carbon management plan at the end. And that includes helping them to put in place a carbon baseline so they know where they're starting from. We help them then to put together a list of cost-effective carbon reduction projects to estimate what kind of cost and carbon savings they might expect to get from those projects, and to draw them all up together into a board-approved carbon management plan at the end of the process. We've worked with 82 NHS trusts so far doing this, and the average trust on the programme so far has made cost savings of over £700,000 a year, and carbon savings on average of over 4,000 tonnes per year. So it's very much a proven programme that's helping the NHS to cut costs at this very crucial time for the NHS to be making financial savings.
E.ON is one of the UK's largest energy companies. We're probably best known for providing retail services, so selling power and gas to our domestic customers and medium-sized businesses and large corporate and government departments, and also for the power stations that produce power for the whole country. But we're also one of the UK's market leaders in combined heat and power, and through our Sustainable Energy Solutions business we provide advice, guidance and physical solutions to many organisations such as the NHS. Smart metering is a new type of metering which will be rolled through the whole country to every domestic property and business by 2020 at the latest. And at its most simple, it provides the ability to read meters remotely, so you don't need to have a meter reader coming to read it anymore. But perhaps more important than that, it also provides the ability to take readings on a much more frequent basis than once every month or once every quarter. That in turn allows people to see what's happening all the time with regards to energy usage in their business, in their property, so they can start then making decisions based on that information. We've been running trials of smart meters with our customers, both residential and business customers, and through using smart meters to examine their energy use, how much they use and when, and for what, we're finding that they're able to reduce their energy consumption quite dramatically. In the case of residential customers, up to 25%. In the case of businesses, it completely depends on the nature of the business, but the results can be quite substantial. In the case of the NHS, what I think we'll find is most NHS organisations have an energy manager in place already. They're now going to have a whole lot more data to use to be able to make decisions, and I think we'll find that they have to work quite a lot harder, but they should get much more impressive results with regards to being able to reduce their energy consumption. One thing we all need to be aware of is that energy prices are going to rise over the next decade or so. Government statistics themselves suggest that this could be between 25 and 60%, and you'll even see outlying suggestions that prices will rise by up to 100% as we need to build new infrastructure and pay for that through the bills. So it's really important now to start getting a grip of our energy costs, and smart metering and the data it provides is a good way of starting to do that. The government's introduced new targets for the whole of the country, in fact in legally binding 5-year periods up to 2020 and then through to 2030 and 2050. All government departments, including the NHS, will be set top-down targets to reduce their carbon, but there's also a new regulation being introduced called the Carbon Reduction Commitment, and in this the top 5,000 organisations in terms of scale in the UK, of which many are NHS trusts, will be put into a league table. And in essence the idea here is that you'll come at the top of the league table the more you reduce your energy costs year on year, and at the bottom if you don't. And even more important, you'll get fined if you're at the bottom of the league table, and that money will get paid to the people at the top of the league table. So if you're at the top, you'll reduce your energy costs and receive a bonus, and if you're at the bottom, you'll pay more energy costs and then get fined as well. So the incentive is there for everybody to progressively reduce. E.ON can provide a wide range of products and services to the NHS in these difficult times. We range from providing installation of meters. We have hundreds of meter installers across the country who can do that for the NHS, and that's really important for the carbon reduction commitment, just to provide a baseline of what the energy consumption actually is in order to be able to move forward. We can manage the entire carbon reduction commitment process for you, all the paperwork, if that's what you'd like us to do. But in addition to that, we also provide advice and solutions for the physical energy needs you have in hospitals. So that could be new microgeneration, where you can benefit from the government's new feed-in tariffs, all the way through to combined heat and power plant to heat your hospitals, as well as to provide power locally for that. We've already got 2 combined heat and power plants installed in hospitals in the UK, one in Nottingham at Queen's Medical Centre and one in Leeds at St James's. One of the services that E.ON offers is called an energy performance guarantee. This is a kind of a no-win, no-fee arrangement, whereby if we can't help you to reduce your energy consumption, then you don't pay us a fee. But what we found quite often with customers is they're sufficiently unclear about their starting point to make that actually quite a difficult kind of contract to enter into. But we're very flexible about the nature of the contracts we enter into, and I hope that gives us sort of a feeling for how flexible we can be. Well, the first and most important step to being able to reduce energy consumption and carbon is energy awareness. And smart meters and the information that they provide are a very important first step towards doing that. After that, it's about 3 steps for us really, what we call eliminate, mitigate and generate. First of all, where you can, eliminate the unnecessary use of energy by energy efficiency measures, insulation and those kind of things. Secondly, by changing the behaviour of people in mitigating the way that they use energy, where you can't simply insulate it away. And thirdly, where you have to, by generating in a renewable and energy efficiency and carbon friendly kind of way. In E.ON we've got lots of international experience of this and lots of experience in the UK, and we can help you do all 3 of these things. At E.ON we have extensive international and UK experience in helping our customers to do all 3 of these things, so come and talk to us.
Advanced metering, there isn't, as far as I'm aware, one fixed definition of what an advanced meter is. But generally speaking, what an advanced meter will do for you is it will enable you to take more regular readings of your energy consumption, be that electricity, gas or water, usually half hourly. It will enable automatic reading of that meter so that you won't have to send someone round to read that meter. And it will also be able to store a profile of your energy use, so that rather than knowing that you've used however many kilowatt hours of electricity over the last month, you will be able to see a profile of how much energy that building has used over the last month, and you'll be able to see the times of peak demand, and you will be able to, a smart meter will then be able to output that into a software package that will enable you to analyse that pattern of energy usage and spot exceptions, spot unusually high usage, and as a result it will enable you to better manage your energy use.
Utility Energy Solutions are a UK-based company, part of the ISTA group of companies that provides utility management services and data services to commercial organisations. Within Europe, our focus has been predominantly within the UK, but now on a wider aspect within Europe. Markets have deregulated and customers have had choices to choose energy providers. There is a growing need for the customer to understand and get closer and engage in their energy use. We, as an organisation, recognise that. We install appropriate metering for the customer and deliver that data in a time frame that the customer requires. ISTA has a proud history, 100 years working within utilities, data services, but again, on behalf of consumers and landlords, rather than the supply industry itself. On its own, advanced metering infrastructure will not aid energy reduction and consumption management within the NHS or any organisation. Firstly, an organisation needs to engage with its energy use, to understand where they're using energy, and that's right from the boardroom, the executive level, all the way through to the boiler room and the people that operate and work with the facilities within an organisation. Having understood that everybody interfaces with energy, that everybody in their day-to-day business affects and causes the cost of energy within the organisation, provides a framework for then advanced metering. The advanced metering will then provide better granular data for organisations and people to understand exactly how they interface, when they're using energy during the day, operating hours and non-operating hours, times. And it's within that that the advanced meter that brings in half-hour data overlaid with that operational provides the benefit. UESL provide an extensive services for our customers for the control and reporting of their energy costs. We have a web-based application that enables the organisation to overlay their hierarchy, their buildings, their management structures, their meter points, their contracts. We provide invoice validation on their utilities. We can organise for smart meters to be installed, main meters, utility meters or sub-meters to be installed. We collect the data and pull that into our systems. Our energy managers then utilise the system and their experience to identify and target areas of inefficiency and inconsistency, reporting that back to the organisation at levels from the board through to the facilities teams and the individuals within an organisation that interface with energy, and ultimately to deliver savings to the customer.
One of our customers, Gala Coral Group, came to ask us about an energy management project. We already had AMR metering fitted in the Gala Coral estate, and we were able to perform energy management activity within the bingos and casinos across the Coral Group in order to save £1 million in just a year. Because of the AMR, we were able to see instantly the effect of our actions. So after we'd done the initial surveys of all the casinos and bingos, we were able to talk to the site managers about the impact of particular initiatives. For example, turning down heating air conditioning units, introducing behavioural changes, staff turning off lighting or turning off unnecessary equipment, making sure that fruit machines only went on just before the clubs opened. As a result, we saved £1 million in a year, which is 10 million kilowatt hours of energy, a significant saving, and also great for the corporate reputation of Gala Coral Group, who show their commitment to the environment. Since then, the project continues, and we are committed to another £400,000 worth of savings in this current year, and I personally have been to give presentations about what we call the Big Bang project to energy information events, and the Gala Coral Group have also promoted internally and externally, and I believe the next stage of the Big Bang project will be to engage the customers as well.
The challenges of managing a complex organisation and the utility expenditure and the pressures on cost savings, identifying and managing that cost savings are dramatic. There are services and systems out there and companies that can assist in establishing a strategy for that management, a framework for that management, introducing appropriate and meaningful reporting that can identify the savings, the easy wins, and can put together a context for business cases, for investment in technology that again can deliver energy savings.
A building energy management system is one of several crucial ways in which an NHS trust can control and monitor its energy use. A building energy management system will generally be hooked up to heating and to lighting and to the main sources of energy use and carbon emissions in a hospital building. And it will automatically control those systems in a way as to make them as cost and carbon effective as possible, and to enable the hospital to do its job while using the minimum amount of energy and carbon. The essential thing with a building energy management system, and this also applies to any kind of smart metering system, is that the people using the system are constantly monitoring it, constantly ensuring that the settings are correct, and constantly monitoring the output from it.
Green Energy Options, or GEO as we know ourselves, is a young Cambridge company. We're dedicated to helping people use energy more efficiently, and by doing that reduce their carbon footprint and of course save money. We started out some 4 years ago, and since then we're now at a turnover of about £7 million, growing reasonably well, and probably one of the leaders in this field. Smart metering is quite a complex subject in many ways, but it's about two-way communications with the meter so that you're able to get much better information about the amount of energy you're using. Where it really comes interesting is what do you do with that information? How do you present that information to the users of it? And that's what these displays do. So they make that information available in real time to the users of energy so they can see what they are doing and adjust their behaviour accordingly. Well, at Geo we produce a range of products. This is a whole new area for a lot of people. Energy for a long time has been hidden away and people really don't understand it very, very greatly. So what we do is produce a range of products which start off very simply, giving people high level information, and this is one of our simpler displays here, in a way that it means something to them and it gives them information in real time. We call these push displays, and these displays trigger people's action and interest. We then go on to bigger and larger systems which give pull information, where you go and start looking and say, why am I using that, where am I using it, and how does that compare with what I normally use. Now those displays then become very useful in homes, in schools and in businesses, particularly because this is a behavioural change thing, and if you're doing at home what your kids are doing at school and what you're also seeing in the business, then it becomes second nature to start to realise what you're up to.
Well, in a hospital, it's clearly about trying to get a combination of reduced energy consumption for cost savings, but also the climate impact of large energy consumption. And what smart metering can do to help is basically to, if it's properly applied and has readouts and displays which show you properly what is being metered in different parts of the building, then it can be very, very informative and will influence the way that people consume that energy. And if you can get to the hearts and the minds of people, make energy visible to them, then they will take some action, and all the waste which happens quite naturally in all of our homes and all of our offices can be curtailed bit by bit. And it's really about this process of raising people's consciousness and raising people's awareness of what they're consuming day by day, which is what smart metering allied with this type of data display technology can achieve. The type of product that we would use in the health type of arena is the Quartet system, which is a software product which has a large number of sensors gathered around the building which pull together information and display it in a way which is meaningful to people. And that's the key. It's making it meaningful to people. If I go into a big building and I see it's using 15 kilowatts, it means nothing to me. If I go into an office area and I can see that 15 people in a ward or an office are using a certain amount, then it responds directly to me in my working environment and what I leave on and leave off. That's the key to it, is getting the behavioural element of this is an area that I can control, and showing people information which is relevant to those individuals. Now we do that in a number of different ways. One is to use sort of animated characters which give a meaning and a character to that particular area. So red animated people running around the screen obviously is an indication that energy consumption is high. Green measured leisurely activity is meaning that you're doing well relative to history. And the key to all of this is trying to put consumption today into context with what it should be, what it could be, and what it has been. And making all of that information digestible to people and fun for people to look at is what our product is about.
My final message to the NHS is that I'm going to start with my background. I used to work as a change management consultant, introducing technology to new businesses. What I learnt there was that you can't throw technology at people and expect them to pick it up. They won't. You have to engage with them. The thing is the same, it is exactly the same with green energy. There's a lot of technology there. It's being thrown at people in the expectation that they will pick it up. But they won't unless you make it far more accessible. That's really what we're doing. We're making that information accessible, engaging them with the technology so that they can start to use energy more efficiently, reduce their carbon footprint, and deliver the savings to the NHS that the NHS needs.
One of the foremost challenges facing the government in the battle for the smart metering hearts and minds of the NHS is very dependent on the reliability and robustness of the infrastructure and technology that supports the new system. Without that buy-in, the smart metering programme will miss an important goal. If NHS facilities do not engage with meters, they are unlikely to reduce their consumption. I'm Georgina Burnett, and you've been watching Advanced Metering within the NHS.